if you have not risen to higher ground in your life, there's a place, there's something going on. And I call it the in-between. The in-between. The in-between this election and the next. The in-between no money and all the money you could ever desire, or no money and at least going beyond check to check, right? The in-between no success and success. The in-between the blank page and the finished novel. And if you're an Isley Brothers fan, the empty bed and in between the sheets. Right? And if you don't know who the Isleys are, let me break it down to you. That means the empty bed, no lover, and a compassionate, passionate, loving, fulfilling relationship. There's always an in-between, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today, is the in-between. Because guess what? I'm in an in-between. I'm in an in-between. And from this place, I realize that your fear dissipates when you understand what is going on in your life. And so you may not be at higher ground yet. You might be in the in-between. And I realize that there's characteristics of the in-between. Can I share those with you? Yes. There's characteristics of the in-between. Imagine, have you ever seen those commercials where it says, if you suffer from this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, then you have this, right? So what I want to do today is do a little quiz. Now, you don't have to raise your hand, but just keep in your mind answering yes or no to these things. The in-between. It feels like an unwanted thing. It feels like an unwanted thing. It feels like a complete surprise, like out of the blue, just happened, out of the blue. Now, Abraham would say it's not out of the blue, it's out of oblivion, right? You're oblivious to what's going on. You're oblivious to that you're a creator. And you turn to it and you think that life is against you, that God is testing you. All of this stuff is out of the blue. Next. It feels like maybe you made the biggest mistake of your life. The biggest mistake of your life. And it causes a lot of emotion in you, usually negative emotion. And I want to say this is a side note. If you are new to New Thought or you haven't studied it deep enough to understand that there will be emotion, there will be negative emotion, and nowhere in New Thought does it say you should not feel negative emotion. We're going to talk about why emotion is a good thing, but it feels like negative emotion. It feels like you're all alone. It feels like nobody is going through what you're going through or has gone through it. Nobody understands it. Nobody can grasp it. It feels like you don't know what the hell is next. It feels like you don't know what's next. Not only how did I get here, but how do I get out of here? And finally, it feels like it will never, ever end. It's so rooted in time that you forget, as A Course in Miracles says, that time was created to give you time to make a new choice. The time is not against you. The time is set in place so that you get to choose differently. Abraham, I love how she says it, how Abraham says it in Esther Hicks. If every time you had a negative thought, you got hit on the head with a brick, you would change your thinking. You would change your thinking. But see, here's the beauty, right? You would be so quick to change that thought. You wouldn't hold on to a thought. You would move on to the new thing. You would change that emotion. But here's the beauty and the grace of God. You have time to change your mind.